This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of what I'm going to call Edmonton Oilers discussion today, although it's more focused on what's been happening down there on the farm this season and a development, well, not really that big of a development, although yes, 100 career NHL goals is a big development in anyone's hockey career for the most part. But that said, Josh Currie has been Josh Currie down on the farm system for yet another year, and there's a lot of questions to be asked about Josh Currie. I've answered with Sam a couple of times, subscriber Sam down there in Bakersfield, just a little bit about good old Josh Currie and what's going on with the Edmonton Oilers, because you look at it this way, right? Let me just get this stat for you right quickly, if I can find it here. Marcus Granlund. So Marcus Granlund got the call up from the Oilers the other day back to the NHL. He spent some time with us already earlier this year after signing in the offseason to be pretty much a shutdown penalty killer and bottom sixth contributor. That second part didn't exactly pan out. The penalty kill was still pretty strong for Marcus Granlund, but that ended up finding him down in Bakersfield where, like I said, 15 points, 15 games, 6 goals, 9 assists, a fantastic effort out of him. And by production measures in Bakersfield, that is much better than what Kyler Yamamoto was doing with Bakersfield. 16 points in 23 games at one point. Now that said, Josh Currie, what are we talking about Josh Currie? How about 22 goals, 17 assists for 39 points in 49 games in Bakersfield this year? That's a pretty good little track record if I don't say so myself. You look at Tyler Benson and the track record he's had. He's had 40 or 36 points in 43 games. So you kind of see, right? I've mentioned 3 names that have got a recall, and then I've told you Josh Currie stats, especially with those 22 goals, and yet the guy doesn't have a recall out of the Edmonton Oilers quite yet. So that's an interesting point. But I guess, to put it one way, Bakersfield is bone dry for guys leading the charge right now, right? We've taken Colby Cave, we've taken Kyler Yamamoto, we've taken Tyler Benson, and at this point we've also taken Caleb Jones, William Lagesson, and Ethan Bear. You look at how much of this Oilers team is, of course, Bakersfield products, and then you've got Gagne. You've got Haas in there as well, who have been on there, and I'm sure I'm missing somebody else. Patrick Russell was there last year, and like you look at it, right? And we are just missing a lot of guys who were in Bakersfield last year, this year, and are now stepping up, playing big time minutes on our Edmonton Oilers team. And now, yes, okay, that sounds like, well, Tyson, now you're backtracking on your big claims that Josh Currie has to get called up. At the end of the day, Josh Currie still deserves a call up. No matter what the roster situation says, no matter what the situation in Bakersfield is, Josh Currie dang well deserves a call up at this point of the season for how well he's gone to work after getting a taste of NHL hockey last year and just kept producing in the AHL level. That said, again, similar to what happened with Tyler Benson in his 1 game, 2 game send down here the other week, is simply put, it's an awkward fit. And it's not an awkward fit for the Oilers in this situation. It's an awkward fit for Bakersfield because they're still hanging in there a little bit with the conversation of playoffs last I checked. Now, obviously, I should check the standings and not make bold claims or accusations of what Bakersfield's doing or not doing. Now, that said, the Bakersfield Condors sitting on the outside looking in right now. They've got 46 points, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that they can make a run for it. But that said, they're at 20 wins, 23 losses, 4 overtime losses, and 2 shootout losses. So they're not having a great season. I knew the record was getting out of hand. I didn't realize it was there. I thought we were about a 500 club, but you kind of see that, right? It's been a tough go of it for our Bakersfield Condors so far this year. But that said, you know what? You don't want to start handicapping them and taking away a bunch of guys that could be useful for this team. So the Bakersfield Condors in that tight fit where, you know what? It's been a successful year, right? Everything that's gone on over the past, well, since the Chiarelli era right now through to where we sit with Ken Holland saying, no, I like what we got in the system, just over-ripen it. Well, it's all come together, but problem is, come at the expense of Some of those guys were overripe and some of those guys were ready for action. That said, what I want to kind of show you is Josh Currie's stats over the past few years and kind of get you that little insight as to why he got the call up last year. And I've already given you my thoughts on why he isn't getting the call up right now this year. But that said, those stats are right there. Let me get those for you. And let me turn that down. Right now, I'm going to take down the subscribe placard. Definitely consider doing that. I am 9 off at time of recording of this video of 7,500. So let's try and hit that 7,500 today in the live stream. And there you go. These are Josh Currie's stats. You look at what he did last year wearing an A for the Bakersfield Condors. 41 points in 53 games, while he's on pace this season to very well smash that 39 points in 49 games played. Well, if that ain't just fantastic, right? As you look at that, he'll have 4 games to get 2 more points. And the way Josh Currie's been going, I would not doubt it. That said, ladies and gentlemen, he also crossed, as I mentioned earlier in the video, crossed his 100th career AHL goal the other night, last night. And he went from 100 to 101 in the same exact game. So Josh Currie definitely doing the job. Now, the situation with Josh Currie is, if Team or Cap Friendly's got me correct, let me go over to Cap Friendly and make sure I get this stat for you. I got a lot of links I have to get to in this video, so please pardon me when it comes down to jumping around and trying to make a complete story here. But let me get to the minors here. Josh Currie. This is something that subscriber Sam pointed out to me that he was really concerned about. Josh Currie is making less than league minimum this year, and he's a UFA after this year, right? And we've seen what happens with a couple of Bakersfield UFAs when it's a weird fit, and they probably aren't going to get the NHL shot with the Oilers, but at the same rate, they're not exactly content to be in the AHL the rest of their career, which could kind of be the argument case here with Josh Currie, but I highly doubted it. 27, he's a great guy, and if you think Brad Malone got Oilers time last year, then there's no reason Josh Currie shouldn't get time this year. But simply put, Josh Currie could end up going down the Dave Gust situation and go find himself in a contract, an NHL prorated contract with another team. And you look at Dave Gust, where is David Gust? I gotta find David Gust here. And it's always weird because he goes by Dave Gust for the most part when teams are talking about him, and I can't seem to find him here. Let me see if I can find you Dave Gust's stats here, but that's the guy I'm referring to when I talk to you about Oilers prospects going down and turning around somewhere else. And Dave Gust with Charlotte Checkers, I thought he was with the St. Louis Blues, but now he's played 27 points in 49 games played with the Charlotte Checkers. So he's on pace to have a better year than last year with the Bakersfield Condors. And that's kind of the situation with Josh Currie, right? Is I'm talking about an awkward fit on Bakersfield, right? They can't afford to give up anyone else if they want to stay half competitive. And you can't give up anyone else. Like, you can't exactly call them up and this and that. And then what does that leave you next year, right? Like, next year you think about the crop of rookies going up to the AHL. You've got, well, potentially Raphael Lavoie, if I've got my math right. You've got Philip Broberg, but that's on the back end. And you've got Ostap Safin. That's literally the crop of rookies going up to the Bakersfield Condors next year, as far as I know, unless we sign some of the draft picks we've got from years previous over in Europe right now that need to come on over and start, well, producing at the AHL level for us to really get a look at what we've got. So that said, like, where does that leave Josh Currie, right? That leaves him in a pretty prime spot. He's got a spot as the mayor of Condors Town simply laid out to stay. Problem is, do the Oilers make that happen with 48 contracts? I think having Josh Currie as a 48th contract, if that's the way you want to look at it right now, does not hurt the Edmonton Oilers whatsoever, right? It does not hurt the Oilers whatsoever. So I see no reason why the Oilers shouldn't re-sign Josh Currie in this situation. But that said, if he can find greener pastures, and we've seen what he brings at the NHL level, I absolutely love a guy like Josh Currie at the NHL level, a spark plug, a just go engine, right? And that's what we saw with Josh Currie in his games last year in the NHL. Well, I would love to see that pan out for him somewhere in the NHL, specifically with the Oilers. But the question is, it's an awkward fit right now, but at the end of the day, it comes down to what the heck are we doing with our depth guys moving forward. Obviously, Archibald Sheehan probably getting signed to contracts. Granlund, Kara, those are the questions you start asking, and that's where you start finding a spot potentially for Josh Currie. Guys, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. I will catch you in the next one.